Now, everyone's been very focused about the Armory over the past couple of weeks, but one area has absolutely exploded, and that's going to be Copenhagen. Now, Copenhagen is something that we've often thought of as really a back burner investment. Obviously, we saw everything that happened with Paris, and we knew that there was probably going to be a pretty massive supply, about as big as it can get for a major investment. A lot of people decided they were going to avoid Copenhagen altogether, but one capsule specifically has been going absolutely crazy. That's going to be the Contenders capsule. Now, this capsule is definitely the one that when we talk about a Copenhagen investment succeeding, it would probably be this one. It's got the Koi stickers, it's got the Lin Vision, and it's got a lot of other desirable teams inside of it. It's the one that's got the most unique stickers, and I think a lot of people really looked at it as a possible investment, but a lot of people backed off because of everything we saw with Paris. Now, for Copenhagen as a whole, most of the capsules are really sitting around that 25 to 26 cent price point, which is not too surprising, but this Contenders one has absolutely gone crazy. If you want to look at the graph, someone's obviously bought a significant amount of these. I would definitely say be careful inside of this area, but it's very interesting to see. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're giving you a $10 bonus with code MasterShiny just to try them out. They're my go-to selling spot with the highest rate for sellers, and it's super easy to use. They're going to be currently the best option, paying over 100% when you use that $10 bonus. They're super trusted when it comes to transactions, and it took me just about 2 minutes for me to get my over $200 from this Emerald Jormungandr. They've got tons of different payout options, and they're also going to be having a super low fee buyer's marketplace. It's super easy, tons of deals cheaper than Steam, and tons of different deposit options. This deal won't last forever. Make sure you check them out today with that top link in the description. Now, talking about things from the Armory specifically, I want to focus in on the stickers to start. Now, obviously, the ROI has fallen a little bit since the previous video. I think that's completely understandable, completely the most normal thing that's going to happen because people are going to keep on unboxing these stickers. Theoretically, the prices are going to fall down a lot, except they really haven't fallen down too much. We went from about 260 to about 240 and 225. This is still a crazy ROI, and it's absolutely insane the fact that you have a 70% chance of making profit. I would definitely say these are going to continue falling. Hopefully, honestly, I want these stickers to have a massive supply because they look so good. They have huge crafting potential. I think a lot of profit can be found in this area if they get cheap enough. And with that being said, obviously, I don't think they're at that price point just yet for you to make an actual investment. These stickers are going to be sticking around for a long time. Theoretically, the Armory is supposed to be in the game indefinitely. I think obviously the items are probably going to be switched out in some sort, but these are definitely going to be around for the next couple of months, nearly guaranteed. So I think the prices are going to continue to fall for a lot of these more less desirable stickers. But overall, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of the sticker market, especially if you get stars. Go ahead, redeem them, get those nice looking stickers, make your profit. Now, if there's one area that everyone is absolutely obsessed over, it's going to be the charms. Now, we talked about charms in a previous video. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the variations are what everyone's looking at right now. If you want to talk about it, the small arms charms are probably going to be your #1 area to look for variations. We've got things like the Chromecast AK, we've got the Semi-Precious. These are going to be the two most popular ones, and you're probably seeing a lot of headlines. A lot of people are selling super expensive charms. We got $700 for a charm color variation. Now, this is really hard because a lot of people are really thinking that their charm is worth a lot of money, and I'm here to tell you it's probably not. A lot of these charms are definitely going to produce for some overpay, but I don't think it's probably going to be as massive as what you think it is. Right now, the charm market is very small because not enough people have been able to redeem their stars for it. This is going to expand over time, and most likely nearly everything for the charms is going to get cheaper. If you've got a good price point and you've got a super rare charm that you want to sell off, in my personal opinion, I think it would probably be best to sell it. We're at the point now where we're 2 weeks in. People know what charms they want, know what charms they're probably going to have a little bit more of an expensive budget. I think it'd probably be in your best interest to sell it off, but overall, charms as a whole is a really complex area that I don't want to get too deep into just yet because we don't know the exact price points of everything, and I don't want to give you the wrong price point because things can definitely change inside this area. Now, hopping on into our case market, the first thing I want to talk about is going to be the gallery case. Now, the gallery case is obviously what we're going to be watching for the next couple of weeks, seeing exactly what happens inside of this because it's not a normal case. It's not one that drops normally. You have to buy it. Looking at the unboxing numbers over the past week, it is the 3rd most unboxed case, which is a really high number, and in my opinion, a really good number. We want to see the case unboxed at record numbers because honestly, that's going to be able to keep the supply down and obviously the profitability up for people that want to go ahead and grind out the pass and sell that off. I'm liking this number moving forward. Now, talking about our rare case market, overall, it has not been absolutely perfect, but I think it's about as good as it can be inside of this area. If you want to look at price points, there hasn't been anything crazy. A lot of them have really stagnated out, which is not a bad thing. I want to reiterate, especially for these rare cases that don't have a crazy high supply, as long as the price isn't going down, these are very solid investments. Overall, I think there's a lot of potential inside of this area, and the fact that we're not seeing anything crazy happening right now is probably more of a good thing than a bad thing. If we want to look at unboxing numbers, they're definitely being dominated by the active duty cases, which is unfortunate, but it's also just a sign of the times. We mentioned this a lot. Active duty cases are the new era. People are unboxing these because they're so much cheaper than the rare cases. The only one that can even compete is the snake bite, and that's still a decent sized more than the cheapest active duty case. Overall, talking about our rare cases, they just don't have the interest right now, and I actually don't think that's a bad thing. I think for investors, it's it's a little bit of a disappointing feat because usually we see a fast recovery for these cases and then the prices go absolutely crazy afterwards. We haven't seen that yet, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Overall, these cases are very solid investments and they're the slow movers. Remember, your profit's not going to happen overnight inside of this area. It's going to be a slow growth over time, and I think we're in a perfect position for that, which is really all you can ask, especially from a case market. Now, looking at our 3 Armory collections is a little bit of an interesting predicament. Now, obviously, the unboxing ROI is still over 100%. It's nearly the exact same of what we saw in the previous video, and this is probably not too unlikely to change just because you're taking the time to grind out those stars. It does take time. You are creating value. The biggest thing I'm looking at is wondering if I really want to make an investment into this area. I'm not doing anything just yet because I think that would be really foolish. I think these skins are most likely going to be dropping in value overall, but it's crazy to think about. The fact is these skins are really expensive, and therefore I'm wondering the opportunity cost of going into something like this. Even your light blue skins, which are usually sitting at around 10 to 11 cents, are sitting about 4 to 5 times that for the most part, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know necessarily if it's going to be the best opportunity just yet. I'm really excited to see where this goes because overall I think there is going to be a strong opportunity. I just don't think it's presented itself just yet, and therefore I'm not making any investments. I'm not doing any trade-ups. Overall, these right now are a huge money pit, and I'm really trying to just ignore them for the most part. Now, talking about our sticker markets of Stockholm and Antwerp, really not too much has been going on inside of this area. If I want to look at the data, they are still strong in the terms of people wanting to go ahead and apply these. If we want to look at the price points overall, I'm really not seeing too much going on inside of this area, and overall, I can't really say I'm too surprised. Everything is focused on the Shanghai major. We talk about Shanghai, it is the #1 area people are looking to because we're coming up on it. We're only about a month away from really starting to see which teams are going to be taking place, if it's going to be Drillas, if it's going to be another team. There's a lot of interest inside this area when it comes to Shanghai, and I think that's what everyone's focusing in on. Stockholm, Antwerp, definitely taking a seat on the back burner. If you're interested, there is a lot of great data about it, but overall, people really aren't for the most part. Now, talking about our agent market, things have really started to slow down inside this area. I don't think that's really anything too unexpected for the most part. I think a lot of people really thought we were going to regress very strongly with these agents, the way their price points shot up so aggressively, but we really haven't seen that at all. Obviously, they are not going at the crazy rate that we saw previously, but I think it's very surprising to see the amount of value that is still retained inside of the agent market, and it's definitely something we're going to keep watching moving forward because it's very interesting. Now, talking about the active duty cases, overall, when we're talking about an operation, we saw them traditionally drop down about 50% in value previously. If we want to look at them today, we're really not seeing that same thing. Obviously, we saw the drop down, we saw a little bit of a recovery, and now they're kind of stagnated out at a price point about 10% less than what we're seeing about a month ago. For me, overall, even though we do see crazy unboxing numbers inside of the active duty cases, I don't think they're really in a position to make an investment. I'm looking for a super cheap price point if I'm making an active duty case investment because it's going to take years to develop, and overall, I'm just not seeing that at this point. Now, we talk about a lot of things that I suggest you should be doing. The #1 hands down thing you need to be doing is redeeming your stars. Don't be saving your stars for a rainy day. Overall, these ROIs and these opportunities are not going to last forever. You need to make sure you're using them now. That's all I want. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.